Hi everyone, this is video lesson 9, our second part of unit 10. Today we talk about 3 famous women who stood up for their rights, and in our second part we talk about what it means to be green.
It's not easy being green, having to spend each day the color of the leaves, when I think it might be nicer being red or yellow or gold or something much more colorful like that.
No, that's not what I mean. Being green, something different in mind. It's when you don't produce too much waste. If you put your cans into your trash bin, it's when you save water. Don't shower too long or leave the water running. It's when you ride a bike to school instead of asking your parents to drive you, and taking a bus instead of the car. It's when you use recycle boxes for your paper or your glasses. It's when you grow plants, trees, and save animals, and don't let them cut the trees. In short, being green means when you care for your environment, when you want to help your planet. That's being green. So, but first things first. In our last lesson, we talked about a group of people, a group of children who had a problem with the city because they wanted to build a car park where they skate in their skate park. And well, they stood up for their rights. They fought, they went to the city council, and they won. For the city decided not to build the car park there, so they achieved what they wanted to achieve. Today we talk about 3 famous women in history, and they also achieved some great things. You can find this in your student's book on page 107. These are the 3 women we now want to talk about: Vangari Matai, Rosa Parks, and Erin Brockowitz. Let's start with the first one, Vangari Matai. So I want you to read the text about her and underline the words you don't understand. Take a pause here, and we talk about it in a minute. So welcome back. Vangari Matai. She was born 1940. She lived from 1940 to 2011. Vangari Matai is from Kenya. She won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004 for her fight for democracy, Demokratie, and for the environment, die Umwelt. She was the first African woman to win the prize. Matai started the Green Belt Movement, eine Bewegung, Green Belt Bewegung, grüner Gürtel, in Kenya in 1977, which has planted more than 10 million trees. Also sie hat eine Bewegung gestartet in Kenia, bei der über 10 Millionen Bäume gepflanzt wurden. She was in prison many times because of her fight for the rights of women and because of her work for the environment. In 2002, she won a seat in the Kenyan parliament. In 2002 bekam sie dann einen Sitz im Parlament. So, can you find the answers here? Wangari Maathai is from Africa. True or false? This is true. She won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. Question number 2, is this true or false? You can find the answer in the first 2 lines. Well, she did win the Nobel Peace Prize, but she didn't win it in 2002, but in 2004, 2 years later. So the answer here is false. She cared a lot for the environment. she cared a lot about the environment is true, because she started the Green Belt movement. She was very interested in politics. Is this true or not? Well, yes, she won the seat in the parliament. She had a green belt in judo. Grüner Gürtel in judo? No. The Green Belt movement has nothing to do with judo. Green Belt Movement, die grüne Gürtelbewegung, dabei ging es das Neupflanzen von Bäumen. And she spent a lot of time in prison. Yes, many times, because of the fight for her rights and her work for the environment. So, Rosa Parks. Okay, now to our second text. This is about Rosa Parks. Just read it again, pause the video, and let's talk about it a little bit later. Okay, welcome back. When Rosa Parks, 1913 to 2005, refused to give up her seat on the bus, she said, "I don't want to give you my seat in the bus." So refused to give up her seat on the bus to a white man on December the 1st, 1955. She wasn't just tired from work. She was also tired of getting up again and again for white men who wanted her seat. As you can see, you probably noticed she was a black woman. Yeah, she was a black woman, and it was a very hard time for black people in America at that point, and of course in other parts of the world as well. And at that time, black people had to stand up if a white person wanted to sit on the first rows in the bus, and she didn't want to do that, so she refused. African Americans were not allowed to sit on the first 4 rows of the bus. The rest is American history. Also Afroamerikaner, denen war es nicht gestattet, in den ersten 4 Reihen des Busses zu sitzen. Also sie durften nicht in den ersten 4 Reihen des Busses sitzen. Das war reserviert für weiße Menschen. Also sehr, sehr rassistisch. Ja. The rest is American history. Her arrest, a 381-day bus boycott, and finally in November 1956 the decision that it was illegal to have different seats for white people and African Americans. Also sie wurde festgenommen, es gab einen über einjährigen Busboykott und letztendlich im November 1956 gab es dann die Entscheidung, dass es illegal war, unterschiedliche Sitze für weiße und schwarze Personen festzulegen. Finally, African Americans could sit on the bus the same as white people. Whites couldn't tell blacks to stand up for them anymore. So she was a great person. She fought for her right. She refused to give in. Also sie weigerte sich einfach, dem nachzugeben. What do you think is the correct answer? She helped change life for African Americans. She helped make public transport better. Public transport, also den öffentlichen Verkehr. Or she stood up for working women's rights. Well, indeed, it was the first point. She helped change life for African Americans, because from then on, they didn't have to stand up for other people, for white people. And last but not least, Erin Brockowitz. There's also a movie about her with the actor Julia Roberts. In the early 1990s, Erin Brockowitz, born in 1960, a single mother of 3, eine alleinerziehende Mutter von 3 Kindern, was working for a law firm, eine Anwaltskanzlei. While organizing papers one day, she sie entdeckte, that many people who lived in and around Hinckley, California, in the 1960s, 70s and 80s were very ill. Also sie hat herausgefunden, als sie in dieser Kanzlei Papiere organisiert hat, dass viele Menschen in einer bestimmten Gegend in Kalifornien in den 60er, 70ern und 80ern sehr krank waren. She later found out that there was a poison in the water. Poison, when you drink it, you die, or you get very sick or ill. It came from a gas and electricity company. In 1996, she and lawyer Ed Masery, a lawyer is an Anwalt, won 333 million for more than 600 people from Hinckley, from this place. Okay, take your time, pause the video and try to find the correct answer here. The correct answer is she fought against a big business. A business is ein großes Unternehmen. Now, listening comprehension. Listen to 2 interviews about children's favorite heroes or heroines. Fill in the grid. You now hear about Hannah and John, and they have a favorite hero. And why is this person the hero for them? A hero? Was ist ein Hero? Überlegen wir mal. Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was a hero for the African American people. Erin Brockowitz was a hero for the people in Hinckley, in California. Can you tell me what a hero is? A hero is ein Held, yeah? So listen to this sound file and try to find out who is the hero and why.
Unit 10, Exercise 10. Listen and fill in the grid. Hannah.
One of my heroes is definitely Mahatma Gandhi. I think it was really great, the way he fought the British. He taught his people how to protest, but how to protest in a non-violent way. There's a special Indian word for this too, but I can't remember the word right now. I've seen the film several times, and I always cry when the Indians march up to the British soldiers, and the soldiers shoot them. But the Indians don't fight back.
John.
One of my heroes is my older brother, and there's a good reason for it. When he and many of his friends lost their jobs, he organised a protest march and held meetings and talks. They weren't able to get their jobs back because the company closed down a month later, but they got a lot of help, and he and some of the others used their money to start a new company, and now they're doing well. I think it shows you should never give up.
Okay, so who was the hero for Hannah? That's right, Mahatma Gandhi. And for John, it was his older brother. I want you to pause the video now, fill in the last words, and then check the results here. Okay. So Mahatma Gandhi was the hero for Hannah because he taught his people how to protest against the British in a non-violent way. And non-violent means when they hurt you, you don't fight back. So she told us about one example when Indians walked up. They went towards the British and they shot them, but they didn't fight back. Okay, so non-violent, they used no violence. They don't fight back. And John, his older brother, was his hero because he organized protests, meetings and talks when he lost his job. Later he started his own company. Also er hat Proteste organisiert, Treffen veranstaltet und Gespräche geführt und später hat er dann auch seine eigene Firma gestartet. It's on the next page, on page 108 and 109. So let's talk about sentences here. Don't drop litter in the streets. Litter is garbage or waste. It's the same word, yeah? It's when you ate something and you drop the rest to the ground. This is litter. Recycle paper. So you put paper into a certain box and then it can be used again and again. Recycled glass bottles, the same. There are special boxes for those. You call them bottle banks. And you put the glass bottles in there and the companies use the bottles again to make new bottles. So they got washed and cleaned and they use it again. Don't take plastic bags at your supermarket, bring a basket. As you know, in our supermarkets, there are already baskets there, but just to use it in those supermarkets. So it would be a good idea to bring your own basket to the supermarket. Basket, you already know the word basketball. Yeah, Korb. Save water. Save water means you don't use it too often, just only when you need it. Don't ask your parents to drive short distances, ride your bike or walk. So if you live near the school, don't ask them, please, can you drive me to school? No, it would be much better for the environment if you ride your bike or walk to school. Buy locally produced food. So locally means you buy food which is produced in Austria, for example. Yeah, don't buy apples from Italy or Germany if you can buy some from Austria. And don't leave bottles or cans on the beach. Okay, so write the correct number into the correct box. I take a pause and then let's compare the results. Five, 7, 4, 3, 1, 8, 2, 6. Okay, the next exercise is for you to find out if you are a green person or not. Also das hier ist jetzt ein Test für dich persönlich, um herauszufinden, wie grün du eigentlich bist. Also wie sehr du dich für Umwelt einsetzt. If you save water, if you always save water, you give yourself 3 points. Sometimes, manchmal, or never, niemals. Okay. So I want you to fill this out for yourself. Okay, if you finish this, you turn around your book and you can read the results here. Save water means Wasser sparen. I take a basket when I go shopping. Nimmst du einen Korb, wenn du einkaufen gehst? Oder einen Stoffsackerl oder so? Würde in dieselbe Kategorie fallen. I take glass bottles to the bottle bank. Zum Recyceln machst du das oder manchmal oder niemals. I put paper into special containers to be recycled. also das Papier getrennt wegschmeißen. I ask my parents to drive me short distances, kurze Strecken. I drop litter in the street. Du schmeißt Müll auf die Straße. I leave bottles or cans behind in a park or in the woods. Bottles, Flaschen und Cans sind Dosen. You leave them behind, das heißt, du lässt sie dort zurück. In a park or in the woods. The woods is the same as the forest. And we buy locally produced food. Wir kaufen lokal hergestelltes Essen. Manchmal, niemals oder immer. Okay, then check your results and you see for yourself if you are green or not. On the next page, this is part of your homework. So you have to read these questions and underline the words you don't know. Use a dictionary to find out what they mean. Also lies dir das mal durch, verwende ein Wörterbuch, wenn du irgendwelche Wörter nicht kennst, oder auch dein Buch hinten hat ein eigenes Wörterbuch für Wörter, die in diesem Buch vorkommen, sehr praktisch in dem Fall. Und ich zeige euch jetzt, was eure Hausübung ist. Being green, this is your homework for this lesson. Folgendes, du liest hier die Seite 108 und 109 im Students Book nochmal gut durch und schlage dir unbekannte Vokabeln nach. Eine große Hilfe wäre auch die Quizlet-Übung vom letzten Mal, die Vokabeln nochmal durchzulesen und zu lernen. Und dann schreibst du, dein erster Punkt ist, du schreibst im Edu-School-Chat in Englisch Fragen an deine Mitschüler mit Hilfe dieser Phrasen auf Seite 109. Und du antwortest anderen auch auf die Fragen, die sie gestellt haben. Eine Frage kann viele Antworten von verschiedenen Schülern bekommen. Antworte aber nicht auf Sätze, die du nicht verstehst oder die Fehler beinhalten, wo der Inhalt nicht klar ist. Ja? Schaut so aus. Ich habe das jetzt hier als Beispiel mit meiner Frau gemacht. Du stellst eine Frage, so wie die hier, die ich gestellt habe, und wartest auf Antworten von deinen Mitschülern aus der Klasse. Du gibst dir nicht selber eine Antwort drauf. Ne? Du kannst und sollst sogar auch Antworten auf Fragen deiner Mitschüler geben. Es sind mehrere Antworten erwünscht, erlaubt. Also eine Frage kann mehrere Antworten beinhalten. Das sammelt sich dann, diese Fragen und Antworten werden auch eine Weile lang nicht gelöscht. Ich werde mir aber manche Fragen oder Antworten rauslöschen, die komplett falsch sind, also grammatikalisch falsch. Ja? Ich gebe dir dann auch Hilfe bei deinem Feedback, bei deiner Übung dann. So, wie wird deine Hausübung nun bewertet? Deine Aufgabe ist es, nicht nur die Fragen und die Antworten in den Chat zu schreiben, sondern die Fragen und Antworten, wo du dazu beigetragen hast, in dein Hausübungsheft zu schreiben und das Foto davon hochladen. Je mehr du machst, desto besser ist deine Bewertung. Ja? Wenn du keine Fragen oder Antworten hast, kriegst du natürlich nur 0%. Wenn du 1 bis 2 Fragen mit dazugehöriger Antwort in deinem Heft stehen hast, kriegst du 25%. Bei 5 Fragen und mit dazugehöriger Antwort, also 10 Sätzen sind das dann, kriegst du 100%. Bei deinen eigenen Fragen musst du auch eine gute Antwort von deinem Mitschüler aufschreiben. Also es muss immer eine Frage und eine Antwort, die dazugehört, im Heft sein. Das schaut so aus, zum Beispiel. Eine Frage, die man bilden kann aus dieser Grafik auf Seite 109. How do you save water? Wie sparst du Wasser? Und die Antworten, die muss man natürlich selbst sich überlegen, kann man aber auch auf den vorigen Seiten nachschauen. I only take showers, no baths zum Beispiel. Ich dusche halt nur und nehme kein Bad. Das ist einmal eine Frage plus dazugehörige Antwort. Und das ist die zweite hier. Do you know someone who is very green? Und ich habe als Antwort gegeben Miss Reichel. She teaches the Green Warriors. Und weil das viel zu wenig ist, ja, das sind nur 2 Fragen und dazugehörige Antwort, gibt es nur 25%. Ja, wie wir vorher gesehen haben, 1 bis 2 Fragen und dazugehörige Antwort 25%. Du musst schon 5 Fragen plus dazugehörige Antwort im Heft haben, um 100% zu bekommen. Noch einmal, das müssen nicht alles nur deine Fragen sein, sondern es kann jetzt auch die Antwort von dir sein mit der Frage deines Mitschülers. Das ist ganz gleich. So, wenn du Fragen zu dieser Übung hast, es ist ein bisschen kompliziert, aber es ist, glaube ich, leichter, als es sich anhört, dann schreib mir die in den Chat rein. Ich werde sie dir beantworten und dann aber auch wieder rauslöschen, damit im Chat genug Platz ist für diese Aufgabe. I hope you had a good lesson. I wish you a nice day and see you next time.